Well, it's 2 o'clock. Welcome to the ACPA Vice President Virtual Office Hours. It's our first attempt to see if to try to do some work and connect with members of the association. Because as we've been talking with Executive Director Cindy Love as well as President Kent Porterfield, we really want to be able to have the leadership connect with our members directly rather than having to go through a lot of systems. And so this is one of our attempts to be able to connect directly with members and be able to answer questions that they have. And we have a lot of different ways people can answer questions. They can join the Hangout in real time. They can share questions through the ACPA Vice President blog. And they can also ask questions via Twitter at the hashtag ACPAVP. So there are multiple ways that people can join the conversation. And please feel free to share your questions. So we have a couple questions that came in through some of the other avenues, so we'll get started for those. And if people have questions, jump in, chime in via the chat box or however else you'd like to chime in. So here's one question from one of our members. I heard a commission chair talking about JLM. What is that? JLM is actually the July leadership meeting, and this is a summer leadership meeting for all of the entity leaders, including commission chairs, state division presidents, international presidents, and standing committee chairs. And it really is the opportunity for the entire leadership of the association to come together, and really the only time that we're able to come together as a large group. And this opportunity is really about for training as well as planning. And so we have some training sessions identified next week because the meeting is next week, Tuesday through Thursday. We'll have all-day training on Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday we'll allow the entity leaders from each category get together and meet and be able to talk about different issues that are happening in their areas. And it also provides the opportunity for the governing board to meet and discuss various agenda items. So that's July leadership meeting. Another question that came in was regarding convention, because interestingly, our meeting in Tampa is our July leadership meeting is actually at our convention location, and we try to do that so that our entity leaders can see what the location is like, be able to share that information with their entity groups and other members. And one of the things we'll be getting at that July leadership meeting is an update regarding convention. And here's some information regarding some of the things you might be interested in for our convention chair, Kristen Skendel from the University of Maryland. If you're interested in volunteering, which is a fantastic opportunity to get engaged, anybody from a graduate assistant all the way up, even an undergraduate student can be a volunteer. There are many opportunities. If you go to the ACPA convention page, you'll find links to volunteer. You can be a program reviewer. We're collecting names for those right away. It's a fantastic way to provide some content-specific expertise, be able to learn what some of the program proposals are. And this is an especially helpful opportunity if you want to present in the future, because you get to see what the program proposal process is like. So there's that opportunity. And deadline is September 4th for being a program reviewer, and that's also the date to submit your proposal for the 2015 convention. So please consider that. You can also volunteer on site, and there'll be information on the ACPA convention website for that as well. And registering convention. If you do not know, registration is open at this point in time using you get the last year's 2014 rate. So this is a nice opportunity to use end-of-the-year funds, either end-of-the-year fiscal funds from your office, or actually just maximize and optimize the cost and get the 2014 registration rate now. And you can find that link on the ACPA convention website as well. And if you're not familiar, you're not able to make a reservation at a hotel until you've actually registered for the convention. And so once you register for the convention, in the email you receive confirming that, you'll get the information, the link to register for your hotel in Tampa as well. A lot of great sites that we have around the Tampa convention area. Some are right on the water. It's going to be a beautiful location for early March, especially for those of us out east, because we'll be looking for warm weather down south. At this point, they're still confirming keynote speakers, but we're going to go with the same format as the opening head talks, the higher education talks that we did last year that were so incredibly popular. So there'll be three, I believe, three 15-minute presentations as our opening session rather than just one speaker. So you'll be able to hear about 3 different topics that are related, and the closing speaker should be announced soon as well. So pay attention to the convention website, check back, and you'll be able to see that information. And then this year we're trying something different, something unique, and something that will be really valuable to folks both participating and not participating. We'll actually be publishing conference proceedings. And so we'll be getting papers related on the presentations that we'll be able to be sharing back to members. And so if you're not able to attend, this will be a great way to learn what happened. And if you're able to attend, this will be a great way to learn the sessions that you couldn't actually participate in. So this will be a nice documentation from the convention and be able to keep everybody connected. So those are the updates at this point for the planning for Tampa. As they more come out, check out the ACPA convention webpage, and that information will be there. If you've been reading the Chronicle of Higher Education lately, or Inside Higher Education actually in the last 2 days, actually even within the past month, but sexual assault, as you know, is a hot topic on campus. Senator Claire McCaskill's survey results have been released. They were shared in the Chronicle yesterday. There's actually a lot of work that needs to be done on college campuses to address sexual assault, and also to meet some of the federal guidelines and mandate that's been set forth to protect individuals on our campus. And so one question that came in through email regarding what is ACPA doing to help colleges address sexual assault. And there are a few things that we're doing, so I want to be able to share with you right now. The first thing that we did was President Kent Porterfield charged a presidential task force on sexual violence to really look at what should be done on college campuses, and particularly how can ACPA help support that. We are a member organization. Our members are both individuals as well as institutions, and we wanted to figure out the best way to provide support to both the folks on our campus and then the faculty and staff that support our students. We put out an open call for nominations for this commission, for this task force. Over 165 people with incredible skill and knowledge were nominated, and folks that were faculty, staff, and educational consultants. So not just people that do sexual assault prevention work on the campus, but people with a wide variety of expertise. That group was whittled down. We have 2 co-chairs, Jody Justin Anger, who's a faculty member at the University of Marquette, and also Keith Edwards, who is a staff member at Macalester College. And so those 2 individuals are co-chairing the group, and they'll be meeting at the ACPA International Office later this summer to begin really sitting down and discussing the work of that group. And we expect to have a report at Tampa, at our convention in Tampa, if not earlier. And also, Dr. Cindy Love, our executive director, has been attending the roundtable sponsored by Senator McCaskill down in D.C. to get a sense of what some of the issues are from the federal perspective, as well as policymakers and educators across the United States, and to be able to bring that information back to the association. So ACPA is really trying to do as much as possible to provide the support to help students, but also to the student, faculty, and staff and administrators on campus that do this prevention work and actually help support those students. Another hot topic on campus and in higher education is technology. And as you know, the world is changing. Technology is integrated to everything we do, from our sleep to our exercise to our leisure time. And what we really haven't been doing as much with is really trying to figure out how can we integrate technology into the work of student affairs. How do we use technology to really leverage our expertise to support student learning and development and provide the support services? And so President Kent Porterfield at our convention back in Indianapolis in March charged a task force for digital technology. And that task force is being co-chaired by Tony Duty at Rutgers University and Ed Cabellin from Bridgewater State. And that group and all of their folks are actually meeting at the ACPA International Office at this very moment, discussing how can ACPA help faculty and staff really integrate technology into the work that we do, both to to maximize that work, but really supplement and be able to support student learning and development. And that committee is comprised of thought leaders throughout the country, and one of those committee members is Eric Qualman, who was actually one of our higher ed speakers at the opening session at Convention 2014. So we're really trying to pull in thought leaders both from the business field, technology field, not just student affairs, because we need to think beyond our field to be able to really impact our field and provide as much diversity and experience as possible. So I'm going to do a quick check of the various systems and see if we have any questions. If not, we have a couple more questions that we can pull down that were emailed earlier. No current questions from Twitter. So we'll actually go back to another one of the final questions that was emailed just a couple days ago regarding credentialing. And so if this is from an individual that attended last year's convention, and they attended an info session on ACPA's credentialing process, and they're wondering what the update is on that. And so I can give you a little bit of background. Let me tell you a little bit about what precipitated ACPA's decision to really think about credentialing and how that can benefit the field. And you may or may not know that ACPA actually began as an association of appointment secretaries. And back in the 20s, this was actually essentially the equivalent of career development placement services. So these were the individuals that helped students get jobs. And so really the foundation of ACPA has been in career development. So we're going back to our roots to really figure out a way to help our members track and be able to demonstrate what they're learning and demonstrate the skills they're developing in their various professional lives. And so that's where this whole idea came from. We're trying to figure out the best ways to do that. There's been a curriculum implementation team that's being led by Dr. Sandy Esnick, a faculty member at Canisius College in New York State. And so they're pulling together a lot of different ideas, and those ideas are now coming to fuller fruition. And what I can share with you at this time is the creation of a portfolio system called My Portfolio. And really, this is the container. Sandy actually likes to talk about it as the Tupperware that will contain all of your professional development and career development opportunities. So it's a place to both document what you've done, similar to a resume or a typical portfolio, but also to provide artifacts. So videos, certificates, other demonstrations of your skill and knowledge. So you really can demonstrate what you've learned, not just write down what you've done. Because at the higher education, and particularly career development, and even hiring managers are looking for demonstration of the skills and knowledge that are represented in the resume, because simply writing down what you did doesn't demonstrate if you have the skill or knowledge. And that's the whole goal with My Portfolio, is be able to provide an opportunity, a place to put all of those items. But we also wanted to expand it out and have it be a planning tool. And so be able to think about what types of opportunities within ACPA do you want to engage in, depending on the areas that you want to develop. The ACPA NASPA competencies will be a part of this integration, so you'll be able to evaluate yourself on those various skills, be able to identify competency areas you want to work on, and then be able to review a list and menu of various ACPA opportunities, both within convention, institutes, at state conferences, any type of professional development offered through ACPA, you'd be able to identify which ones you want to participate in. And then ideally be able to upload information from those activities into My Portfolio, and then be able to share any of those opportunities, any of that evidence with people, with hiring managers for jobs you're applying for, or for graduate school if you're looking to go for advanced degrees, or just for your own personal knowledge and personal growth. And so we're really continuing to develop that, the robustness of that tool, so that's not just a container, but a planning tool as well. We'll be doing a pilot run in the fall with some graduate students in Buffalo, New York, and then we'll be rolling out at the ACPA convention and actually doing some activities with some sessions at the convention. So pay attention. We'll be sending out more information as we get it. And then one final question that we had in was actually about advice. And so we had one new professional who said, I'm a new professional in the field, having graduated last May. What's your advice for someone starting out in the field? And so when I got this question, I began reflecting on what my experience has been, what I didn't do, what I wanted to do, and what I've kind of learned in the last 20 years in higher education. And my first recommendation is get involved in ACPA somehow. I waited a good probably 10 years before I got involved in the Commission for Assessment and Evaluation, and I'd never been involved in ACPA aside from attending a convention. And I didn't realize until my involvement what I was actually missing. Getting involved for me as an assessment professional in the Commission for Assessment and Evaluation provided that network of professionals that I didn't have on my campus. People to bounce ideas off of, people to ask questions to, share resources with, and also be able to get connected to the subfield of assessment across the country. And so from a networking perspective, a professional supports perspective, it was incredibly useful. And so I've figured out a way to get involved. If it's volunteering for convention, if it's getting involved with your state conference, if it's getting involved in the Standing Committee for Graduate Students or New Professionals, or a commission for a functional area such as residential life and housing or career development, or around your identity group, so one of the standing committees. Find a way that fits for you, because this will provide a professional home. Think about on your campus that students feel lost when they come on your campus until they find their niche. They get connected to their folks in their residence halls, students in their major, with a staff member. That's what we want to be able to do for you in ACPA, but we need to figure out the best way to connect you. We have the involvement team, which is helping individuals get connected. I would also recommend the ACPA mentoring program, SA Grow, which will connect you with a mentor, which is a great way to begin discussing how to get involved. And so try to find a way that's going to work. Usually for a lot of folks, it's the state associations, international associations, commissions or standing committees are a nice, easy way to get involved. And sometimes just participating, listening, sometimes getting more involved, helping to plan activities. But the more you get involved, the more you'll get out of the association, and the more you'll be able to connect with professionals across the world. Reach out to leaders. And don't be afraid to ask folks if you'd be able to talk with them about something. I've realized that ACPA members are very giving of their time when people reach out. I've done that with a number of folks, and I've been surprised by their generosity and their time to be willing to talk with me on the phone, via Skype chat, or even setting time aside at convention. Think about people you admire in your subfield, people that are doing amazing work, journal articles you've read in the Journal of College Student Development, or authors of articles about campus. Don't hesitate to contact those folks. Their contact information is there. You can always go to the ACPA website to find their email address. Feel free to reach out and ask to talk for half an hour or an hour. People will say yes, and that gives you another contact, and that person may give you a contact to somebody else. So don't hesitate to reach out to folks. And then finally, stay engaged. And so once you get connected, stay engaged. Think about different ways to get involved. Move up the ladder in the volunteer leadership. You'll both develop as a professional, but also gain more stronger network. This definitely helps for newer professionals as they move out the career ladder, because as you continue to look for new jobs and move on to different professional opportunities, knowing people really helps. And so both to identify opportunities, perhaps to even get a foot in the door on a position. So reach out there and ask people for help. They'll be willing to help. Take a quick look. At this point, there don't seem to be any other questions coming through the Twitter or through other avenues. And so I think we'll call it a day for the office hours today on July 10th, 2014. Please feel free to contact me either directly through my email address, gavin.henning@gmail.com. Feel free to send a question or a comment to #ACPAVP. That will get to me as well. Or also follow the Vice President blog post, because you can send comments there or post to that. And we'll be scheduling the office hours for August. And once that information is out, we will pass it on to folks. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and take care.